A very good morning to all the students of class 9th and students, welcome back to the online classes here. As you know, we had started the second chapter of your geography book, that is physical features of India, and before that we had finished the first chapter during your physical classes when you were coming regularly to the school, and I had also given assignments and homework regarding that particular topics of first chapter. So now in the last lecture I had started the second chapter, in which I had explained you the deep meaning of the chapter's title, that is the physical features of India, that what do we basically mean by the physical features of India. With the help of various examples I had explained you, and I also told you what are the important things we are going to cover in this particular chapter. So I told you that how India has a huge diversity, that you has been studying from the very junior classes, that India has a diversity in terms of caste, color, religion, language, food habits, clothings. So you will find different type of people in India with different languages, different caste, color, religions. So in the same way when it comes to the landforms, so India has also diversity in its landforms. So when we talk about the physical features, these are the various landforms which we see on the Indian land. So we will, if you see the map of India, you will see you will find Himalayas, that is a mountain region. You will find northern plains, you will find Deccan Plateau, you will find deserts, you will find coastal regions. So there are various different physical features which so it is important for us to read each and every physical feature of India, and for that we shall be taking this topic one by one. And before studying those physical features, it is important to know that how these physical features were formed. So it becomes important to understand formation of Indian landmass. So the topic would be formation of Indian landmass, which we have to understand now, that how these different physical features came into existence. For that, first of all, we will have to understand this theory of plate tectonic. This is very interesting, which we will study in detail, where with the help of examples and various plate movements, I will let you know what do we understand by plate and plate movements. We'll try and understand. As you know, you all have also understood and read about the crust, mantle and core in the junior classes, so it will be playing an important role here. So your past knowledge is going to be important to understand this topic, that is a theory of plate tectonics, which is also very important to understand the various different and divergent physical features of India. And also in the next further in this topic only, we will cover formation of Indian landmass, where we talk about Pangaea and Panthalassa. So I will explain you what do we understand by Pangaea and Panthalassa, and how our earth used to be, how it got drifted and splitted with the passage of time, and what were the reasons. And this is the current scenario, the current map and continents and position of different continents around the world. So this is all important to understand the various important physical features which are present in India at the recent time. Those all has some background to these basic important theories, which as a student of class 9 you must know these theories. So with the help of diagrams I shall be explaining you, but before I take these diagrams, I will also like to study it from your NCERT book, so that you can relate the topics properly. And I have also told you, when I'm reading out the chapter, I'm explaining you need to have the book open in front of you and with a pencil where you can underline the important points. So I'm reading out, I'm taking the next topic from your book. Okay, so you need to focus on that. So basically the topic we are starting, introduction part I had already explained in the first video, and today we will try and understand formation of physical features, how these physical features in India were being formed. So India is a large land mass formed during the different geological period. So let's understand what do we understand by geological period. As I told you, you can also write in your book also. Geological period means geologists who study earth. Geologists have split the earth in history, earth's history. So these geologists, when they study various phenomena of the earth, various physical features of the earth, to make it very easy for them, they have divided the earth's history. So like there is an age for earth, so that age of the earth has been divided. Okay, and that's called earth's history. So here it's mentioned here, India is a land mass formed during the different geological periods. So India, the landform which we see, has been formed in the various different periods of geology, which has influenced her relief. Besides geological formation, a number of processes other than these geological formation, there are some other important processes which play an important role in the formation of various physical features of the earth, like weathering. You have studied these in the junior classes, the definition of weathering, erosion and deposition. These are the three important processes which play an important role for our physical features or the formation of physical features on Indian landmass. So they have played an important role. This weathering, as you know, is the breaking down of the rocks into small pieces and finally as soil, which are being eroded with the agents like water and air with the help of river also, and deposited to the other places. So all these three processes are interlinked and interconnected and play an important role in the formation of physical features of India. But other than that, the most important thing when we have to understand how these physical features or different landforms and variety of features which we see in India, how they came into existence, for that we need to understand. A study has been given by the scientists. Earth scientists have attempted to explain the formation of physical features. So the scientists now, the earth scientists have tried and explained the physical features of India with the help of a theory. And you need to remember this, the name of this theory, as I told you, theory of plate tectonics. So through this theory of plate tectonics, the earth scientists have tried and explained the physical features of India, that we see there is so much of diversity and variety of landforms in India. You find mountains, rivers, coastal areas, plateaus. So what were the reasons and how they came into existence, how they were formed? For that we need to understand this scientific theory, that is the theory of plate tectonics, which is the most important part to understand this chapter. So it's written here, according to this theory, the crust, as you know, crust is the upper part of the earth. In the junior classes, you know, crust is the most upper part of the earth, has been formed out of 7 major and 7 minor plates. So when we talk about the crust, so Indian crust has been formed out of 7 major and 7 minor plates. This I will show you in the diagram. See, you can see this is a world map. Okay, these are the various continents and these are the plates. Okay, this is water, and under this land area, land mass, there are plates known as a Eurasian plate, North American plate, South American plate, African plate, Indo-Australian plate. Okay, again here a Eurasian plate. So these are the plates. Okay, and we need to understand these are the crust region. This is the most upper part of the earth, and this is divided into 7 major plates. These are the plates. Oh, and there are also some minor plates. So this is the crust of the earth, and under this you will find mantle, then core. So in the mantle you have already studied, it is in the semi molten form, and you find magma. So we can say that this crust or these continents are floating on the magma, which is in the semi molten form. So as I've shown you in the world map, that how the world is divided into 7 major plates, which is the crust of the earth. So the movement of the plates, so when these so the movement of these plates result in the building up of stresses within the plates and the continental rocks above, leading to folding, faulting and volcanic activities. So whenever there is a movement in these plates, when these plates move, they create stress and tension within the boundaries of the plates, and there are continental rocks above the plates leading, and on the plates there are always continental rocks which lead to folding, faulting and volcanic activities. Now with the help of the diagram, we will try and understand what do we understand by folding, faulting and volcanic activity. Broadly, these plate movements are classified, where the movement of these plates have been classified into 3 types. Whenever the continental or the crust plates, as I told you, our earth is divided into 7 major plates. Whenever there will be movement between or among these plates, there will be 3 type of movements. It's written here, 3 type of movements. The first one is while some plates come together and each other and form convergent boundary. First one is convergent boundary. These are the 2 plates when they will come towards each other. Okay, they will move towards each other. This is the plate, and these plates are floating on the mantle. This is a mantle which we also call as semi-liquid molten magma. This is a magma, And it is supposed and it is believed and has been proved by various theories that our plate, that is the continental regions or our plates, they are floating on the mantle, and this mantle is made out of semi liquid molten magma. So one movement has been given, and this movement is called convergent boundary, where one landmass or the one plate is converging towards each other. Okay, then the other, you can see the other moment is same. These are the two different plates as I have shown you on the world map, and one plate is moving apart from each other. They are moving in the opposite direction. So in this case, you can see divergent boundary. This is called divergent boundary. You can say conventional, this is the mantle, and as I told you, mantle is formed out of semi liquid molten magma, and this molten magma is trying to come out. As you know, under the earth crust there is the magma, and this magma has so much of energy that it always finds an weak zones on the earth crust, and those are the areas where most of the volcanic eruptions are found. So whenever there are a region where crust is weak, the molten magma comes out. So there you can see there are conventional currents which are forcing these two landmass in the opposite directions, and this movement of plates in the opposite direction, because of the semi liquid molten magma and the conventional currents which are trying to come out of the crust, there is a movement in the opposite directions. This is called divergent boundary. And the third one is this transform boundary. In this, there is a horizontal movement of the plates move in the horizontal way towards each other. This plate is coming this side and this plate is moving this side. This is called transform boundary. So you need to understand and remember there are three types of movement when we talk about the plate movement. One is convergent plate, another is a divergent plate, and third is the transform boundary. Although we will take this part and movement of plates in detail. Now let's read it from here how these are working. Broadly, these plates movements are classified into three types. While some plates come together each other and form convergent boundary. When the two plates will come with each other against each other, it is called convergent boundary. Some plates move away. When the plates will move away from each other, they will form divergent boundary. In the event of two plates coming together, they may either collide and crumble, or any may slide under the other. At the time, they may also move horizontally, and when some plates may move horizontally also to each other. Okay, each other and form transform boundary. When they will move in a horizontal position, it means they will form transform boundary. The movement of these plates have changed the position and size of continents. So why we are trying to understand this plate tectonics theory? Because of this movement, these three type of movements in the plates which are there in the earth, as I told you in this diagram, these are the 7 plates. And when there is a movement in as convergent, divergent and transform boundary, so because of these movements we can see there are changes in the position size of the continents over millions of years. It cannot happen in 1 year, 2 year, 100 years or 200 years. It took millions of years where we see these changes in the continents. We see different landforms, different reliefs. Okay, so all these variety of landforms have been occurred because of these plate movements from millions of years. Such movements have also influenced the evolution of present landform features on India. So because of this, now in this chapter we are not talking about the world, we are studying basically about the physical features of India. So because of these plate movements, we see various landforms features and the evolution of these landform features in India also. So it is important to understand plate tectonics. So I will also now try to explain you with the help of the diagrams I have drawn. So here, theory of plate tectonics. Due to the movement of plates, as I have told you and shown you the map also in that there are 7 major plates and minor plates also. So because of those movement, when there will be movement in those plates, as I told you, there are 3 type of movements. There will be various changes occurred on the landforms. There are 3 main plate movements, and these 3 plate movements, now I hope now you know it very well. First one I told you are the convergent plates, where these 2 plates are coming towards each other. Okay, this is mantle. It means these plates are floating on the molten magma, and because of this movement of plate, we will always find folding formation of mountains. The Himalayas which you see are the result of convergent plate. When two plates came against each other, there was a folding created, and because of those folding there was a formation of new mountains range, that is Himalayas. Okay, so when there will be a movement such, there will be formation of mountains. And the second example is divergent. When one plate is moving apart from the other, in this case there will be always formation of rift valleys, and this is called faulting. When one plate is going away from the other plate, this is called faulting, and there will be a formation of rift valley. You need to remember, in this there will be formation of mountains, here you will see the formation of rift valleys. And why these are moving up against each other, why they are moving apart? The reason being, from here, as I told you, under this plate there is magma, and this magma always tries having so much of energy in it that it always tries the weak part of the zone and it wants to come out. So because of that conventional current and conventional power, it divides this plate and moves this plate away from each other, and this region is called as drift valley. So because of the plate movements, we can see there are various formation of various different type of landforms. In one case we see the formation of folding through mountain, and here faulting is creating rift valleys. In the same way, transform boundary, in this horizontal movement of plates you will find. Okay, and in this wherever in the regions where you will find this transform boundary, those are the location around the world where you will find these are the areas most prone to earthquakes and volcanoes. Whenever there will be these transform boundaries, plates moving horizontally each other, those are the regions which are very much prone to earthquake and volcanoes around the earth. Okay, and this you have been studying from the very junior classes. This upper part where we live, this is the crust, and under this is all mantle where you will find molten magma. Okay, and this interior part is the core. So our crust is supposed to be floating on the mantle. Okay, this is the hard part of the crust, and this is supposed that this is there are lot of plates, 7 plates on this crust, and these plates are floating on the mantle. You can also take the example of the egg. Suppose this is the egg. Okay, so the most upper part, which is the calcium, if you must have had the boiled egg, the most upper part you will see is made out of calcium, and then there is a white of the egg, and then this is the yolk part. So this outer part is like a crust of the earth. If you remove the outer calcium of the boiled egg, then you will see the white egg. That white egg is called the mantle. So this is core of the egg, crust. Then the inner part, this white of the egg white is called mantle, and the inner part, that is a yolk, that we call is core. So with the help of the egg and the formation of egg, you can find easily that how you can see and understand the formation of the earth or the various layers of the earth. So yes, after understanding the plate tectonics and various 3 type of movements which we see in the plates, which is the reason for the various formation of lands, different landforms around the world, and basically talking about India. So now let's see, before we study the formation of particularly we will study some important physical features of India like Himalayas, northern plains. But before that, we need to understand formation of Indian landmass. In that, we need to study the story of Pangaea and Panthalassa. So as a student of class 9th, now you must know what do you understand by Pangaea and what do you understand by Panthalassa. So millions years ago, our earth used to be of this shape. Okay, so this was the location of the various continents of the earth. As currently you see, there are various continents in our world, and but millions of years ago, this used to be the situation of the continents in our world. So all were merged together, they were as a single landmass. Okay, so what do you understand by Pangaea and what do you understand by Panthalassa? So this landmass, as you can, this was the landmass. This landmass was called Pangaea, and this was all water or oceans. Okay, water. This water part here also water. So this all water was called Panthalassa. I have written here Pangaea was the land mass and Panthalassa was the water. Okay, so let's see this northern part. I have divided a line here. This southern part, these continents, southern continent, this part was called the Gondwana land. Southern part. The southern part of the earth was called the Gondwana land, which is also called the peninsular plateau, because it was covered by 1, 2, and 3. Down here was also water. 3 sides it was covered with water bodies or oceans, that it was also called peninsular part. So Gondwana land. India was a part of Gondwana land. Okay, millions of years ago. And this northern part, these landmass, this was called Angara land. That is the north part of the earth was called Angara land. So you need to remember this all was called Pangaea, the landmass. Water was called Panthalassa. But if you talk about Pangaea, the north part was called Angara land and the southern part was called the Gondwana land, and India was a part of Gondwana land. Okay, but after some millions of years, because of the conventional currents, as I told you, conventional currents are the energies which want to flow out. Conventional current, it is a process that involves the movement of energy from one place to another. Okay, because of this energy which wants to move from one place to another, and this energy was of the magma. This made a split in the continents. So this continent was splitted like that. And the current situation, you can see, this was North America, South America, this was Russia, Asia, India, then Africa, Australia, roughly I have made. So the situation and the continents which we say how they are located today, they were not located like that from the very beginning. They were a part of the single landmass which was called Pangaea. And with millions of years and passage of time, because of the conventional currents, this crust what got splits, because the cracks developed, it got splitted into number of pieces, and these pieces were called now different continents. And after this split, these plates started drifting in the different directions. Now these have started drifting in the different directions. And if you see the map of the world now, you will see various continents which used to be a single landmass previously, now they are the different continents. So this is also all because of the theory of the plate tectonics and the movement in the plate tectonics. So further in this chapter we will try and understand that. So whatever I have explained you in the diagram, let's read out from your NCERT book. It is one and the same thing. The oldest landmass, the peninsular part, was a part of the Gondwana land. The Gondwana land included India. So when we talk about the Gondwana land, that is the southern part of the Pangaea, as I have shown you in the diagram. In that, which were the continents? India was a part of Gondwana land, Australia, South Africa, South America, and Antarctica. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 places were the part of Gondwana land, which was the southern part of the Pangaea. Okay, but what happened, as one single landmass, they used to be a one single landmass, but because of the conventional currents, because of those currents and energy which wanted to travel from one place to another, because of that energy and transfer of energy, there was a split in the crust. There was a cracks and a split on the crust which divided earth into a number of pieces, and these pieces were called various continents, thus leading to the drifting of Indo-Australian plate. After being separated from Gondwana land towards north, the south northward drift resulted in the collision of the plate with much lighter Eurasian plate. Here now they are trying to explain you. As they were saying, when there was Pangaea, all this continent was a single landmass, but because of the drifting, because of the conventional energy, this India used to be in the southern part, Australia, and this South America, Africa, Australia, Antarctica, and so you can easily understand that how these continents and pieces of landmass drifted because of these conventional energies and plate tectonics. India used to be a part of Australia, Africa, South America, Antarctica. These used to be a single landmass. But how they slowly moved, Australia moved in this direction, Africa moved in this direction, India slipped down and moved from this to, and this was the position of India here, and it moved and it collided with, okay, it collided with the other plate, and this was the India was a part of Indo-Australian plate, and this Indo-Australian plate collided with this Eurasian plate. This was a Eurasian plate, and because of this collision there was a formation of Himalayas. Okay, when they collided with each other like that, there was a formation of Himalayas, and with that there was formation of the northern plate as well. So this is the movement of the various landmass. Okay, it's written here, see, leading to the drifting of Indo-Australian plate drifted, and after being separated from Gondwana, it got separated from the Gondwana land towards the north, and it went and it collided with the plate, which, and that plate was very larger as compared to India. That was Eurasian plate, and due to this collision, the sedimentary rocks which were accumulated in the geological line known as the Theses were folded and formed the mountain system of Western Asia and Himalayas, and there was a formation of Himalayas because of that collision. And the sedimentary rocks which were accumulated in the geological line got accumulated as Himalayas.